Welcome to Liquid Lunch. It's me, Hugh. I'm sitting on the other couch today with Daryl, and we've got Anya Petrovic joining us, returning here to Toronto from, she travels all over the world.
I came just from New York, but I live in Sydney, Australia.
I know we're jealous because you live in Sydney. Anyways, you're here in Toronto bringing Tesla Metamorphosis back to Toronto, and of course this is another opportunity for people that maybe haven't attended the seminar to come and learn all about it. And you're going to be at the Whole Life Expo this weekend at the Metro Convention Center, so people can come and meet you in person. And
it's booth 90. Booth
90.
Yes.
Okay, good. So Daryl and I are thinking of going, and we will stop by. Actually, I think I went last year and it was fun. Yeah, and actually a great thing to do. So much to see and do and learn.
Yeah, because at the expo you can experience, it's not a real session because it's so noisy around and so on, but people will have chance to experience those new frequencies, to see how it feels.
So what happens when somebody comes to the booth or to the seminar here next Wednesday evening
right here,
and has Tesla Metamorphosis? Before we get to that,
what is Tesla
give us a little bit of an intro for people that haven't heard you before. What is Tesla Metamorphosis?
Well, Tesla Metamorphosis, they would say, is an energy healing modality, but it is more than energy healing. I guess you all know who Nikola Tesla is, and Nikola Tesla was aware that energy is not just the mechanical movement of particles, that he was dealing with consciousness. This universal consciousness he used to call active ether. Now they call it the field,
Active ether, which now I think the Michelson-Morley experiment was redone, and now they've found that there is actually ether.
Oh, they found it.
They found it, but it didn't make headline news like it should have.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Right. So when we are talking about doing energy healing modalities, we are actually dealing with this universal consciousness that we might call active ether, as Tesla used to call it. And it is more about information. So the difference among different modalities is not in how we wave our hands or where we place our hands. The difference is in what frequencies of consciousness are available for us. So as we elevate our consciousness, there is more available for us out there. So what is privileged to have Tesla's name in the name of modality is that we can access Tesla waves. Tesla, of course, didn't call them Tesla waves. He called them non-Hertzian waves. And he explained that they are different, not just in frequency, but also in their structure and form, that they are multidimensional, and that they are in a domain of new physics.
New physics.
Yeah. And so we can't measure them, but how we know that we access them, it's thanks to a special camera invented by Dr. Harry Oldfield from London, PIP camera, which is more precise than Killian camera, and he made it possible that we can see them because different frequencies of energy in this camera are presented with different colors and different codes in the computer.
So I think we have some pictures here.
Here we see Tesla amplifier with extra coil, and you can also see that identical colors are present during the session of Tesla Metamorphosis. So, how to say, we have colorful and white that we can access those Tesla waves.
So you can actually see it here in action.
Yeah.
And it's a healing modality, right?
Right.
So
how does it work exactly?
How does it work?
Yeah.
it's very simple to work with it, but the results are not so simple because our clients report healings from many illnesses that are labeled incurable, like cancer, AIDS, chronic fatigue syndrome, lupus, even from birth deformities. So if somebody goes to website teslametamorphosis.com and to testimonials, for example, you can hear a mother of 21-year-old girl stating that the doctor of her daughter was amazed how only in 2 months, since he saw her previously, one side of her rib cage, which was much smaller and indent, developed to be equal to the other side. So when I talk about that, people can't simply believe it, or they say it's a miracle. So when I was writing this book, I was looking for explanations for all those phenomena that is connected to Tesla metamorphosis and, sounds miraculous. And I came across Dr. Pyotr Garyaev. He's the member of Russian Academy of Science and New York Academy of Science, and he was doing research on DNA. He discovered that our DNA follows some rules similar to the rules of human language. And in his experiments, he managed to get a salamander lizard from an embryo of frog without cutting out or replacing a single gene, just by changing the information.
So
And
what,
so-
with frequency
Yeah.
information?
Yeah,
So he,
information from the universe. So you see, there are some little beautiful light particles, they call them biophotons, and they bring the information. So if we go back to this girl who had birth deformity, her DNA received the information how a healthy rib cage should be and lungs, and they developed. So that's about healing, and I mean there are different cases, not just my clients, but clients of my students, other practitioners, similar cases that a birth deformity or some, let's say, incurable illnesses were healed. But anyway, I know everybody is very much interested about those healings. I personally believe that something that is as a result of access of Tesla waves is even more important. And this is the effect of Tesla waves on elevating human consciousness. Because you see, we live at a time where humanity needs to move to another dimension. And in order to be able to move to another dimension, we need to elevate our consciousness. So I will be teaching seminars. So the first seminar is Tesla Healing Metamorphosis, and it is not next, but the following Friday. It is 15th of November. And this is about healing work. So people who attend this seminar will be able to do healing on others, on themselves, to heal their plants, their pets, to heal situation, and so on. And after each seminar, I give the certificate, so they can professionally work as a Tesla Metamorphosis practitioner. But after that, so 19, 20, or 21st, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if I'm not wrong.
19th, the 22nd, the 23rd.
All right, well, correct
you
me.
got it
because-
right
I got it right here. yes.
Well, it
That's in this
is
book.
anyway Tuesday,
And this is at
Wednesday,
the Arts
Thursday
and- yeah.
after the first seminar. I teach Tesla soul communication, and that one is interesting because it actually shows and proves how Tesla waves elevate human consciousness. In this seminar, which is always again and again surprising and exciting for me, all students, regardless of their educational background or age or belief system, all are capable of creating communication with clients on the level of conscious, subconscious, and integrative or soul level. And they were not aware of such their abilities before. So if we see the auras of students, you can see that they all have purple color in their aura. So Professor Istovsky, who was doing these photos, he said that that's a phenomenon because this color is not characteristic for human aura. And these colors and this huge change, actually a big change in energy field and consciousness of each student is documented by these PIP camera images. It shows that there was a significant change in their energy field and consciousness frequency. So, I usually have messages in my head, like that is how it started about Tesla Metamorphosis. It started like a fairy tale, and I told about that in our first interview. So if people go to YouTube, they could
with
watch.
the pigeons, right?
Yeah, with the pigeons coming to my window.
Because Tesla had pigeons as well.
Yeah, well,
right?
Tesla has sent pigeons, actually doves, to me, completely white doves.
Right.
So the same way I was getting message that I should teach that, what I call Tesla soul communication metamorphosis.
So this people
And
can
I was-
access by going back to the previous two YouTubes of the interviews and
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not a good. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Instead of repeating this,
Right.
what we already said. So, what I wanted to say is, I was getting messages that I should teach this, and to be honest, I was arrogantly afraid. How could I teach that? How could I know that people will be capable to create communication with somebody who might be on the other side of the world, just like this? And so the very first seminar I made in Sydney, where I live, with 3 people I knew, and more tasks I gave them, the better they were. And the second day, something very interesting happened. Maz, one of the students, was reading what she received through the healing session, and I'll explain what is the procedure later. And it was a beautiful day in Sydney, blue sky, sunshine. All of the sudden, the clouds accumulated, and it started lightning. And all 4 of us, as if somebody commanded, we turned toward windows. Hi, Tesla, because Tesla's nickname was the Master of Lightning. And in few minutes, the clouds disappeared, not a drop of rain, and I took it as an omen that, yes, I should teach that. And I don't know how many people went through these seminars. I was in Zagreb before coming to this continent, and I had 60, 70 people on this second seminar, all different backgrounds. Like there were some doctors of science, medical doctors, massage therapists, plumbers, all different ages, and each of them is capable of creating this communication. And I don't do any attunements, I don't do any rituals, so the only explanation I can have is that Tesla waves elevate our consciousness to the level of crown chakra, and which is purple. Because when I was attending classes of teaching of Swami Vivekananda, as Tesla once said, that that's the only theory that could entertain modern science, then I learned that yogis have a special meditation which has the purpose of elevating consciousness. And that meditation starts from basic chakra and finishes with the crown chakra, which is purple in color. So
And purple is the color showing up in the auras.
yeah, and this is my fat aura. Yeah. Well, that was funny when, we were making photos of students, and let's make my photo. And I was sitting on this little chair, and Professor Ristovsky was looking at his computer. Oh, I've never seen that. Oh my God, what's happening? And could you stand up? Yes, I can stand up. And I stood up, and he was again, oh, I've never seen that. And I said, can I see it? And I asked, where is my circle? Mm-hmm. And he said, I don't know. Maybe it's in this suburb, maybe it's in this city. So you see what happens when we are working with these frequencies, our auras expand. Mm-hmm. And also some students were having photos of their auras a year, 2 years, 3 years later, and their auras, they still had this purple color in their auras, and their auras also expanded from the original size.
So this is what people are going to learn. They're going to learn how to harness these Tesla waves.
Yes. So as I said in the first seminar, they'll learn how to do healing. Mm-hmm. And the second one, Tesla soul communication, is also healing, but in some other way. We all have some things that we have to, that we would rather forget or don't want to think about. So what we do, we push that in our subconscious mind, and the problem is that it works from there. It affects our view of the world, but what is even worse, it affects our health. So I'm also a psychologist, and in psychology and psychiatry we use free associations and hypnotherapy to help people to drag this stuff from subconscious to the conscious level, because once it is on the conscious level, then they can deal with it and they can overcome the problem. So I find it much simpler and easier in Tesla soul communication, and also free associations in hypnotherapy. They reach to the level of subconscious mind, but in Tesla soul communication we could reach to the level of integrative mind, which is the level of the soul. So that means that even karmic healing can be reached.
What does that look like, in a sense? How does that happen?
Oh, well, I was about to tell that. Okay. Yeah. So thank you. You were reading my mind. Well, how do we do it? Let's say in the seminar, one of exercises is that every student brings a photo of somebody who needs healing. And then those photos are mixed, and everybody works with somebody he doesn't know, and writes down everything that comes through the process. And then he reads that, and the person who brought the photo gives the feedback. And there is always a lot of excitement in the class, and a lot of fun when people realized that there are no doubts that they were talking with this particular person, because one can recognize the style of this person, even by words they use. And Also, there is an exercise where only a name is written on a piece of paper, so you don't know the age. Sometimes you might not know whether is what gender it is, because some names could be,
Like
one-
Pat.
Yes. And it's amazing how people connect with this particular person. Yeah.
Okay. And then there's another one. Are you doing the third seminar as well?
Yes.
In Toronto?
Yes.
So people, and maybe some people did some last year and they need to follow up this year, right?
Yes.
And the third one is the Tesla light body
Metamorphosis.
So what is that?
Well, that's in this seminar, students learn how to perform Tesla light body metamorphosis, and that is one very specific process which is done once in a lifetime, and it's done in in 2 consecutive days, and it has the purpose of personal growth on physical, mental, emotional, spiritual level. So this is something that should be recommended to everybody, and even if you do it just to your family, it's a great thing.
And as you said, we, as a world culture, we need to get to that next level, that next dimension or whatever, and maybe this is part of the process of,
Yes, it is,
of raising
definitely.
people's frequency to do that.
Yes.
And then now, and you're doing a seminar here
Next week, next
Wednesday at 7 p.m., right?
Yeah, next Wednesday at 7 p.m. is an informational talk, which is free here
At that channel.
at that channel.
600 Bay Street.
And there I'll explain more and show you the images and explain what is in details more about Tesla metamorphosis, more about each of 3 ways how we use these frequencies, including Tesla waves. And also there will be chance to experience on the table.
So you can have it, get a little Tesla metamorphosis done to yourself.
Really good.
Yeah.
Here next Wednesday at that channel, absolutely free. And people need to register for that, or how are you?
Yes, if they go onto my website, teslametamorphosis.com, and go to seminars and events,
Yeah.
and just next to each seminar or event, there are 2 tabs. One is learn more,
Yeah.
to have more details, and the other is register. So just press on that and register. So
And it's
that
free?
Yeah, it's free.
And are we streaming that, Anya? Are we?
Yes.
Are we? So that'll be, people will watch it from home as well, right?
Okay. Yeah, but you better come because, it's different when you are in these frequencies.
You can't lie on the table if you're sitting at home.
And you can also lie on the table, yeah. And there is, very often people report healings just by sitting in the room and listening to talk. It's also interesting. I don't know how it works, but very often I get emails letting me know that they were just listening to the talk and then some health problem disappeared, or also they write to me that after reading the book they got healed. So
Can I hold that for a second?
So-
Are you going to have these available next Wednesday here at that channel?
yeah.
And
Yeah,
also at Whole Life Expo as
and
well?
also at Whole Life Expo, and I'll have another talk on next Monday at Alternity.
Okay. Alternity, Alternity.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Many times.
So
That's Monday at Alternity. What time?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. That's Monday. Do we have the date? Just so not to confuse people.
Divine from that. If
Well, it's on your
I think
website.
maybe the 11th. Maybe the 11th.
11th.
Remembrance Day.
Right. Okay.
Yes,
November
it's
11th. At Alternity. Fantastic. And I know...
11/11.
11.
Right. So, of course, all the information is at TeslaMetamorphosis.com. You're going to be at the Whole Life Expo this weekend here in Toronto. What's that date?
Yeah, on Friday I'll have one talk which is not directly connected to Tesla Metamorphosis, but of course it is connected to Tesla Metamorphosis. And it's under title, Listen to Your Heart to Reach the Wisdom of God.
Okay, so that's Friday, 6:15 at the Metro Convention Center.
Yes.
Part of Whole Life Expo. You're
But
gonna
the main talk is on Sunday
yeah,
at 2:15.
2:15, yeah.
Yes, where I'll talk also about Tesla Metamorphosis.
Okay.
And
fantastic.
also, during the expo, I'll have some promo codes. So if people come to my booth, I could give them the promo code so that they can save some money on registration of seminars.
Okay, so that's booth 90 at the Whole Life Expo. Get a promo code. And, boy, I had another question. But, and also, you wanted to let people know that they can check out your YouTube channel, where you've got
Yeah.
a lot of other videos.
Yeah,
and-
and also on my website,
Yeah.
there is a button in media.
Okay.
And there they can find our previous interviews and some other interviews in different languages. And
Okay, that's
because
great.
I travel around the world 2 circles a year,
And we have
average 14 cities a year.
so,
But at the moment, the schedule for the next year will be up sometime in January.
and people can always get updates just by checking out your website.
Yes.
And I would just think it would be a good opportunity, because you're only in Toronto like once a year, if that,
Yes.
that, you know, there, a lot of alternative practitioners could, you know, by understanding this and maybe taking the seminar, can bring this into their practice and add this to their tool set
Of course.
for healing, right? Daryl, did you?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, where's this most popular in the world? In Serbia or where?
Well, I have to say in Slovenia.
Slovenia.
I always have more than 100 students. And it's a small country, so I don't know when it's going to stop, because there is a certain number
So
of
it's really
people
caught on
there.
there, wow.
Yeah, the problem is that not many people in Western world know who Nikola Tesla
Right.
is. And one of my motives, apart from, the great
healing.
motive is when I see one person entering the class and different person coming out of the class. But also, my big pleasure is to inform people who is Nikola Tesla, because not many people know, and in former Yugoslavia they know who is Nikola Tesla.
Well, you know, in Canada here, there's a increasing awareness about Tesla. I think there's
Yes.
even a Tesla conference once a year,
There's a Tesla Drive in Hamilton
I was
near
gonna
the
say
bridge.
that. They actually named a street after Nikola Tesla,
Yeah, Nikola Tesla
Boulevard,
Boulevard,
Drive
yeah.
in Hamilton,
Right near
so
the
that they
Burlington
could raise the
Skyway.
awareness about Nikola Tesla and his work. And I think you know, in fact, people who do come here next Wednesday for your seminar at 7 p.m., we actually have an original Nikola Tesla DC motor powering our elevator.
Yes.
And they were going to, you know, the city was going to mandate that they change the elevator, but because it's a Tesla motor, it's so efficient that for environmental reasons, they couldn't justify replacing the elevator.
Yeah, but they justified why we are not using free energy.
I know.
That Tesla discovered how we could use it, but
Oil
know.
that
companies
is
don't want
why
that,
his
yeah.
laboratory was burned to the ground. And
Oh, yeah, and
that
you-
is why, for quite a while, he was absolutely erased from history.
Right.
But I'm grateful to Musk, because he had courage to name the car Tesla and connect Tesla's invention, AC motor,
Yeah.
with his name. Because people have in all household, like vacuum cleaner, fridge, everything you point in your household has AC motor,
Yeah.
but nobody knows
That it's Tesla.
that it's Tesla's invention.
Well, the car certainly is bringing, the Tesla cars
Yeah,
is certainly
yeah,
bringing
but
this
I
to the
mean,
forefront.
still, I
Yeah.
have situations when do you know who is Nikola Tesla? Oh, the one who invented the car.
Plus, there was a band called Tesla too, but this was back before people were really aware of Nikola Tesla, and they named their band there to bring awareness of Tesla.
Right.
And I just found out something new about Tesla since you were here last year.
Yes, because in Yugoslavia we learned about Tesla's inventions, but what we didn't learn is Tesla's spirituality and his interest for human health. And actually, he was genius because he was spiritual, because he was aware that energy is not, as I said, a mechanical movement of particles. And thanks to Swami Vivekananda, who visited his laboratory and then wrote a letter to his colleague in India, we have that information that Tesla talked to his electricity, giving it orders. And also, there are so many things that contemporary science doesn't understand. Like, nobody still knows how comes that Tesla was radiating light from his body, or when he would make dinners, he would make halos on top of the heads of his visitors, or he had a performance where planets were in the space in a huge hole, and there was not electromagnetic ring or anything to hold them.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are so many things that he wasn't just advanced to his time, he is advanced to our time.
Some
as
people
well.
say he may have been an extraterrestrial. But
Well-
here's what I found out, and this is really interesting, is that
Yes.
when Tesla died, and he died in poverty and at some hotel in
New York.
where
I
those
just
doves,
came from New York.
where he had those doves that
Yes.
kind of tie into your story, but that Donald Trump's uncle was a scientist, and he was the one in charge of taking all of Tesla's paperwork and digesting it into the U.S. government assets. And some people say that's why Trump got elected, because they were able to take that information, who Donald Trump's uncle was in charge of, and then they built a time machine or something, and then that kind of, they had, and somehow they came back from the future
anti-gravity saucers.
and made Trump president, including Pepe the Frog.
I don't know about Trump, but I mean, apparently everything that is left after Tesla is now in the museum, Nikola Tesla Museum in Belgrade. It was his wish, but I'm sure that everything what they didn't want to send to museum is still somewhere in the U.S. or microfilms, and what.
I'm sure they got secret
And
stuff
if you read Tesla's book My Inventions, half of it is crossed with black.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Only the U.S. military has access to that stuff.
yeah.
Well, Anya,
Yeah.
it's great to see you again, and we're looking forward to your seminar here at ThatChannel next Wednesday.
Whole Life
a week
Expo
from today.
this
What's the date
weekend?
next Wednesday? So people can come.
13th.
13th here
Yeah.
at ThatChannel,
Yeah.
and we're going to put a link down below. People can click on that and register for that. And if people get out to the Whole Life Expo, they can come meet you in person, booth 90, this weekend at the Metro Convention Center. So great. So thanks again, Anna.
Yeah,
for coming
and
in.
if you're thinking of doing seminars, please go on website teslametamorphosis.com,
Yeah.
seminars and events, and fill in the form
Okay,
and
great.
register.
And you don't even have to be in Toronto. You could be wherever else Anya is touring to bring this knowledge to the world. So thanks, Anya.
Thank you for having me here. I always enjoy being in your company here.
You're welcome, of course.
All right.
And Daryl, thanks.
Perfect.
And thanks,
you.
Chris. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time right here on Liquid Labs, ThatChannel.com.
Yeah.